Hello, everybody. Dr. Kam Yuen. I just read an article of Ben Stiller. He's a very well-known actor. He used to make movie with Robert De Niro, and I met him when I was invited to Robert De Niro's wedding with Grace Hightower, and of course Grace said she can, assist me put it out there so the world would benefit with this method. But that's okay. A lot of celebrity do promise me they would do that, but they're busy with their profession, they're busy with their life. And I met him. That's all I'm going to say. That I met him, and he's talking about his prostate, and it's really not a problem that unless is made to be a problem. So even by the medical their admission that people could actually outlive their prostate cancer. So I'm not going to comment on that one, but I'm just saying that he got surgery on his prostate. So the reason for his surgery, if you use your insight and perception, it's really come from karma that he has, or his ancestors, is one of his ancestors have that, injured people prostate, or that region where the prostate is located. And he also have ancestors that perform castration on others, right? So it's not something to be ashamed of, but the ancestor want to resolve those experiences and give him the message to do so. But if he doesn't resolve it, then the next best thing is to experience being cut in that region himself. And of course, you don't want to be cut out in the street. So you pay a surgeon to perform the job for you. So I'm not going to make any negative comment about what they do, as long as they don't make negative comment about what I do, right? So they could, but it doesn't really matter at this stage of my life. And so the prostate have to be even with the rest of the body. So that way, it's always a communication of that particular organ with the rest of the body. So all the organs are even, or the tissues and so forth. Okay, so you make it even, and there'll be no struggle of that organ by itself with the rest of the body. And it's all about removing the cellular waste and dead cell, using the central nervous system and activate the central nervous system to detox that region. If that region is not detoxed because of karma or some other experiences that kind of generate sluggishness there. So in a way, having sex is actually good for the prostate. I mean, many circles of thinkers saying that, and it's actually good for the prostate. Of course, when a person get up at a certain age, is not going to be as active as before. So in order to increase the activity there, you got to have that internal shakedown of the molecules and atom quantum particles and the cells and the tissue. They have to be vibrated, right? So there has to be a vibration there. That's why I introduced this fitness ball that people could vibrate the central nervous system and vibrate different organs in their body and connect those organs to the central nervous system and allow the central nervous system connect back to that body. I mean, that part of the body that's in question, right? So, and of course, it's going to be forced by the insight that people would activate too. So when you activate the central nervous system, insight will come more naturally. In fact, it would come all the time. So when we have that physical intelligence not distorted by the mental intelligence, because we always rely on the mental intelligence, that's really put a limitation on your physical intelligence, which will improve your body. Right? The mental intelligence will not improve your body. Only your central nervous system, which is your central intelligence, which is really your computer. So I want to just say it again. The central nervous system is your computer. Your mind is just the program. So the computer we came with already have the program we need to have. We don't need to have any external program to put into it. We could, once we recognize we are computers. So at one time, we all say that we are like computers. No, we are computers. We are not like computers. So the central nervous system is the computer. And people have to perceive the 1 and 0 of that computer, or strong or weak. And to activate that computer, it has to maintain the 1 and 0 configuration. You can't just tense it, or you can't just relax it. In fact, most people relax the computer or essentially turn it off so much that the rest of the body is not having any intelligence to monitor what's going on, right? So the leading weakness that people have is really detoxification. So to think that eating the right food is the first benefit, it isn't, right? So if you use your insight, it's not the first, it's not even the first 5, right? So it would be in the 20s for the majority of people on this planet, right? So eating the right food, you have about 19 other things that weaken the body potential, even the mind potential, right? So the body, the physical intelligence actually should monitor the mind, and not the mind have mastery over the physical intelligence. That physical intelligence would essentially make you perform better, and everything works better. And unfortunately, these experts, these smart people, in the classroom, they just don't have the street smart to make things happen, right? So, and they're good in getting their grades in that classroom, but hey, when you're out there in the world, you got to have that common sense and have the insight, right? So everybody shut down the insight. They think by knowing more things, they better equip, right? Well, we know everything anyway. We just have our mind tell us that we have to use our mind to memorize what we already know, right? So, which is ridiculous. So, again, many ridiculous things here. So, I'm just asking you to just try it out. Right? I'm not gonna. This is not a religious meeting here, okay? This is not a religious revival type of meeting. You don't have to believe in anything. In fact, it's better that you don't believe in anything, right? So it's not based on faith. It's based on the results. And immediate results, immediate improvement, right? So you could go to a apart state, and you want to make it strong for every cell to integrate with each other there. Then it would it would take away the waste product from the organ itself. Of course, from the tissue, right? Tissue, the next level would be the cells. So you also want to detox the cells, inside the cells. And your central nervous system could do that, or your physical intelligence would do that for you. And not like your mind say, well, it's impossible, right? Your mind would say, how can you get in touch with your own prostate? Well, why not? Your physical intelligence does that all the time, right? So you could consciously connect with it more, or you could just let it be and let it function on its own and be in touch with it. But then, of course, the mind is always in the way of it. And if it's not your mind, it would be somebody else's mind, right? Somebody else's spirit also. They actually put a restriction, a limitation on our physical body. So we want our physical body to maximize its potential. So that you want to actually also connect with all the cells in your body, those miniature computer of your cells, let them be even with each other. Of course, we have to get your central nervous system to function first as a main computer. So again, you look at the organs, and and you look at cancer, it could be any cancer, it doesn't really matter. You just have to strengthen your normal cells. If you have cancer cells, you want your normal cell to be even with each other and make the cancer cell even with the normal cells, right? So you have mutated cells, abnormal cells. If your normal cells are not freaking out by the host mind or by expert freaking them out, they would, make sure that they mentally freak out by it, right? So the doctor doesn't know that they're doing it, and a lot of times they do know, but they think they're doing a service for the patient by making them more fearful about their condition. Otherwise, they're not going to take it seriously. Well, the best thing to do is get the person not to take seriously about their problem. I mean, truthfully, not seriously, not suppress and turn themselves off and try to forget about it, right? So a lot of people think that the only way to deal with things is to suppress it and forget about it. Well, you suppress it, then you're not even normally functioning anymore, okay? You suppress things and everything slows down, and then you accept, well, we have the right to slow down. Well, hey, you have quantum particles in your body going beyond the speed of light, right? You want to ensure that would be maintained, and then your atoms and molecules, everything has to be faster, not slower, right? So many of you heard me, we want to be strong at least with the speed of the planet going around the sun, right? So we're so slow, and we get this sluggishness, and then we get into stagnation, and then we have blockages in our body, and then we have congestions, and then we get into inflammation and infection and infestation. That is the list that you have to know which weakness that indicate the person would have. You can't just say across the board, well, inflammation is what everybody has, and that's causing the problem. Well, it have caused the problem for certain people, but not for everybody, right? To say inflammation across the board, it's what people have that cause them to have illnesses or disease. That's ridiculous, or cause them to have pain, right? So that's totally ridiculous to come out with a statement like that, right? That's really irresponsible, I could say, right? So they should never even come out with a statement like that, right? So people can have congestion, all right? So and people can have blockages. If you have these healthcare professionals try to present themselves as experts when they couldn't resolve anything for you, so they're not really an expert, right? If you are a healthcare expert, you want to be resolve things right there on the spot, right? So you're not going to hire an expert with your laptop and that person just give you all kinds of reasons why it doesn't work and didn't make it work for you, right? So they would say, well, maybe in the future that laptop of yours is going to work, right? You will fire that the computer expert, right? In fact, that person is not a computer expert, right? So it's really immediate improvement, immediate result, right? All of you, especially in this day and age, I'm not going to wait for them to set the standard for others that, immediate results and immediate improvement. You're not going to get that. And anybody promise, well, I don't promise anybody anything, right? So people acquire their own immediate improvement and result. I just direct them to do so, okay? Even though I've been a healthcare professional before, hey, I don't want to just act like, I just give you advice or give you things that didn't go anywhere, right? So if I say something, it will change that situation, all right? So people think just because I talk like everybody else. That's untrue. The words that I pick to use is the weakness I perceive in the proper order. They form the sentence for me. So it has the computer form the sentence for you, right? So So what do you think? The computer just have words or parrot what you say, right? So a lot of people just parrot what everyone else say, right? So, of course, the answers, we're surrounded by answers, right? Especially in this modern era, we could get answer on Google if we're not in touch with it, right? So you could be more and more in touch with it when your central nervous system is turned on by tensing and untensing. That would be on the same rhythm of your heart. Now, people will say, how can you do that, right? Well, it's so simple, people can't do it. That's a problem, right? So, and also, it could be on the same rhythm as your breathing in and out, right? Because it's difficult for people to know the rhythm of their heart, right? Tensing and untensing of the heart, but they could connect with their inhalation, exhalation, right? So, I'm just asking you to, experience it, right? So I'm not here to try to sell you anything, okay? So if you think that I'm going to ask you to pay for something, well, you will pay for other things, right? I have to pay for the people who manage my website, right? So, and in fact, I paid them a lot of money to do that, right? So, well, I'm not going to go there, but of course we're going to talk about money and finances because that's part of your wellness information, or a wellness book would include money and finances, okay? Include health, you can include fitness, includes relationship, right? If you have bad relationship, it can affect your health and you think you have a health problem. But you could have a relationship problem. You could have a money problem that make you kind of like can't function, can't coordinate your body, you lose your fitness. So it could be anything and everything on this wellness. And you go on, unfortunately, you go on Google and you want to find the definition of wellness, it will always confuse with health and wellness. Well, health is part of wellness, right? And if you don't have any money to pay your bills all the time, well, you don't have wellness, and you're going to suffer with your health. And then you're pursuing your health instead of knowing it's really money and finances or relationship or fitness. Fitness doesn't mean that you have to spend hours in the gym, right? Unless you're a fitness trainer and you want to do that professionally, then you spend more time on that, right? So that's fitness. And also your purpose. So you listen to a lot of people that motivate you. You have to find your passion to do what you do. Well, that's ridiculous. That's like adding emotions to, just add emotion to what you want to do. It could be positive, negative. Of course, they would say passion, right? You have passion to what you do, and that's the only thing you're going to do, right? You're going to be enthusiastic about it. You're going to be motivated. You know what? If your central nervous system is strong, you don't need any of those mental messages to be motivated and inspired, okay? Those are there before when people didn't know any better. There was no computers, okay? That was before computer was even recognized. There was no concept of a computer at all, right? So once you know you have a computer, if your computer directs you in a direction you want, and you want to be strong for everything you do. So that's the purpose. Everything you do is the purpose. So even the trivial things you do in your everyday life, right? So your daily life routine, if you're strong to it, then you're not going to question about your purpose, right? So you want to be strong for all your careers, and you want to find out why certain things will affect you in your career that troubles you. There's reason for it, right? So, and it could be done, right? So if you have an appointment with one of us, maybe you ought to do it, right? I'm not trying to pressure you to do it. If you want to be good to yourself, it's just like if you want to play tennis, well, you want to get an instructor that could point out to you how to improve your tennis game or your golf game or whatever you want, right? So when somebody else has more experience than you till you catch up, you need a few pointers here and there to improve, and then not talk about disease and illness and sickness, okay, or injuries. So those things are resolvable on the spot. The symptoms of sickness and illness and disease, people have seen it that it would be resolved on the spot, but they don't want to tell anybody that, right? Because it's weird. They think this is a new age, hallelujah type of approach. Hey, this is totally engineering, okay? And coming from the grandmaster of Kung Fu, those principles, Kung Fu principles and engineering principles, and also chiropractic principle. Well, chiropractic principle have to catch up somewhat because they actually want to be more modern with medicine. Well, one thing I could say is that chiropractic science don't have to be validated by medical science. So, in fact, medical science should feel proud that we will validate what they do, right? So, of course, you're always going to have drugs and pharmaceutical products. It doesn't mean that's the only things that ought to be used. And by strengthening the person's weakness, then those pharmaceutical products would not have any adverse effect on the person. So when a person consumes pharmaceutical product or recreational drugs, it just affects the nervous system. But if you strengthen the nervous system, people don't have any problem with it, right? So they can live a long life if the central nervous system is strong to smoking, or strong. I mean, if people could live a long life, even continue to smoke, right? So, but if you have a weakness there, then you think secondhand smoking going to ruin you, and then you have to force people to stop smoking, right? Let's pass the law that will do it, right? Which is kind of sad in a way, right? So we humans are smarter than that, right? Let's use our intelligence. If your central nervous system is weakened by smoking, you would just go to the central nervous system and strengthen the central nervous system. Then the person could smoke, right? And you could also strengthen the person's central nervous system. They could take or leave it of smoking. They're not going to have this addiction that they can't, stay away from or don't get into it, right? Addiction comes from a person's mind and spirit, okay? The physical intelligence will never make you addicted to anything, okay? So, we could, using this approach, we would make people stronger to kick their addiction. So we're here to support those people that want to go to the rehab, and we want to ensure that we could make them become normal, strong people like they used to be, right? So it's not something they always have to, continue to try to resolve it and using higher power to resolve it, that kind of thing, right? So the person had enough higher power within themselves, right? And it's time for them to strengthen the weakness they have. So higher power could be used for something else, to change this planet, to improve this planet, instead of one individual, right? So I know people get upset when I say that, especially a lot of religious people. They think that they're the most important person on this universe here. So, that's fine. I'm not here to criticize them, but as long as they don't get mad at me for saying what I'm saying, right? And I have experienced that people get PO, so to speak, when I said that, let's not nag God so much, right? Let God change the weather or do other things on this planet and the universe, right? So that's where I'm coming from. And of course, people say, well, I don't read the Bible. Well, you know what? I took 4 years of theology, okay? So, and you could check on that too, right? So these people read the Bible, what, they memorize a few passages, they think they know about their belief and their faith. Well, they could keep the way they want it. As long as I could say what I want, and if they want to beat me up, that's fine. I can meet them somewhere physically, they can beat me up if they want, right? So I'm too old for that BS, okay? Now let's look at back to pharmaceutical and recreational drugs. If you're strong with it, it would not do any damage to your body, right? You're weak with it, even good food would do damage to your body. If you're weak to certain food, or you've been indoctrinated that you're weak to certain food, let's say someone has allergy to seafood, well, no, you could trace it up or trace it down or trace across the board. It could be a past life, right? Hey, I'm not advocating that you believe in any past life, and I don't believe in anything, okay? So past life, virtual reality, right? Hypothetical, right? Or spiritual experience, whatever, right? It comes up as a weakness, you have to strengthen it, right? So let's say someone have a reaction or emotion about seafood, or have sensation about it, or a sensation is really like pain, discomfort, irritation, hypersensitivity. You could totally delete all those, okay? Sensation, right? When people have pain, we already been on this planet for thousands of years, and we have no answer for our pain. Now that's ridiculous. We don't have any answer for a common cold. Come on, you give me the pain, I will resolve for you. Okay? Now you give me the common cold, I will show you how it's resolved by you, not by me. I just point out to you what your weaknesses are. There's no more healing. Okay? In this day and age, healers think they're better than the person they're healing. Right? Hey, everyone have to be even. Right? There's no curing. Right? No treatment of anything. Of course, I'm getting, a little bit ahead of anyone. So we could support people treatment, right? If they're going to get physical therapy treatment, well, we want to ensure that we could find a weakness, that they could get a good response to their treatment and or their therapy. And what's wrong with that, right? So when someone finishes with the person that needs the therapy, instead of having therapy for years and years, you could have that resolve quickly, and then other people in the world will come and get the same type of treatment, right? So, and people should not be, ashamed of it. They could tell people that they got better, right? So a lot of these celebrities, when you improve them, they don't want to tell people that they have a problem, even an injury, right? So that's okay, each to their own, right? So they want to be a celebrity with that, that's fine. Now, we live in an era that, if you're in a movie, in a business, okay, whatever you say is right? So, of course, and they also have a lot of things that affect them that doesn't have to affect them, but I will discuss that next time or some other time, right? So, again, looking at the situation, again, back to wellness, right? So, wellness, you want everything you do to be strong for you to do them, right? And you decide not to do them, that's fine. Instead of you weaken so much that you have to run away from it, or you have to quit, right? Because it bothers you so much, it weakens you so much. When thing bothers you, it weakens you, okay? You could say, well, I could overcome that. Well, if they make good movie overcoming something, okay? That's for people who don't have any intelligence to resolve anything, okay? So if God created us, God is not so stupid. Create a bunch of stupid people who can't resolve their own problems and answer their own questions. They always have to depend on God, right? Now that's almost like you being a child of your parents. You're going to bother your parents every minute, right? And you couldn't be as good as your parents, right? Or your parents would beat you up because you want to be better than they are, right? I don't think God can get upset if you want to be as good as God, right? So if that was true, then there's something wrong with that God and what God created, right? So, the parents create the child too, right? So if the parents beating the child up because the child wants to be as good as the parents, no, that's kind of not a good, it's not a good relationship anyway, right? So that has to change, right? I mean, we put God on the same level as you, right? You the same level as God. Of course, they have people say, I am God. Well, you could be God. If you could resolve the problem immediately, you would be more like God, right? And you could answer all the questions, so there's no more question to be answered, at least coming from you, your families, or other people that you want to improve. The whole human race need to be improving, okay? Not having more faith, okay? Get on hands and knees and pray, okay? So if they want to do that, that's fine. But, hey, you could go on your hands and knees and pray and still exercise and expand your physical human intelligence, right? So make everyone even, then no one get mad at each other and want to kill each other, right? So those other things could be done also, okay? So I'm just getting ahead of myself at this point. But actually, we're just talking about cancer, right? So prostate cancer at that, and talking about, celebrities that, the thing is, it's good that they come out and finally tell people that, right? So he opened up for the first time, right? Ben Stiller, right? That's on the headline news, right? So all these celebrities get, of course, get headline news, right? Ben Stiller opened up for the first time since reviewing cancer diagnosis. Well, diagnosis is also another thing, right? So again, I just want to say it, that the right answer resolves the problem, right? If someone give you a diagnosis and didn't change you, didn't improve you, then what they say is not right. In fact, make the condition worse, okay? So I don't want to say any more this time, except leave it at that, right? The wrong answer, which is the diagnosis. At one time I tried to be polite, diagnosis could be wrong. Well, they're wrong all the time, okay? So, and actually, there was a time by their own admission, they only get the diagnosed 30% right. Well, that's not even true. I thought that was true, right? So 30% right in their diagnosis, that means the majority of the diagnosis is not right. I'm talking about that, their own admission. So if you search the internet, you probably could find that, right? So you want to be 100% right? You're not going to use your phone and say, well, 30% of the time it works. In the laptop, well, 30%, it might give me the right answer. Hey, we are better than that, right? So it's like God couldn't create us to be better than a human created create the telephone and the laptop or computer, right? So we are computers, and that's how you're going to resolve things, by using your computer, not try to check on your blood test, right? If they want to do that, that's fine, right? Let them do that and allow me to do what I do, and I want what I do to support what they do, right? So I'm not here to tell you not to go to your doctors. In fact, you should go to them, right? But you want your doctor to acquire better results for you, and I don't mind connecting to your doctor so your doctor will look good, providing you the immediate results, not like results sometime in the future, okay? So again, I would say the diagnosis will always be wrong because it did not improve you or improve the person. So the wrong answer make the condition worse. So the right answer resolves the problem, answers the question, resolves the problem immediately, not sometime in the future. If it doesn't resolve the problem or answer the question immediately, then that is not the right answer. So the wrong answer make the condition worse. So you want to continue to be like that, that's fine. It's up to you. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying to change your belief system. And I said, you better off don't have any belief system, right? Because that's coming from your mind anyway. So your physical intelligence, either you get it right or you don't, okay? So thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Dr. Kam Yuen podcast. For more information, please visit yuenmethod.com.